A father was acquitted after holding an Uber driver at gunpoint. Now, this is a wild scenario, but the small gist that I got from a little bit that I watched of it is basically his daughter called an Uber, tried to sneak out, and I guess he thought that it was a threat or something like that, and he came out and held the Uber driver at gunpoint. So let's get over into that and see what it's talking about. See what our thoughts are. See what our thoughts are. Let's get into it.
Today, a Milton man. Tonight, acquitted of charges of aggravated assault and false imprisonment. Sean Hollenbeck was arrested a year ago for holding a rideshare driver at gunpoint at his home. Tonight, a jury found him not guilty of those crimes. And our Hannah James spent the day in the courtroom. Hannah?
Bob, Hollenbeck said this trial ruined his family. And at the end of the day, that's who he believed he was protecting when he pointed a gun at a rideshare driver.
I said this in there and I mean it. I would rather get shot at than go through that again in combat.
After 2 days of testimony, a jury found Sean Hollenbeck not guilty of aggravated assault and false imprisonment.
It's a blessing. Its prayers are answered and common sense. I can't even believe my family had to go through this. I think from...
Oh, what do you mean? Hold on. Oh, well, hold on. Let's keep going a little bit.
The testimony that came out, I hope that the sheriff's office reviews what happened and press charges on the right people.
Hollenbeck's 13-year-old daughter snuck out of his house, ordered herself a lift to Pensacola. Hollenbeck immediately thought the worst.
He got on that stand and he testified that he felt that he had no clue where she was. He felt that she was being trafficked. He felt that she was being drugged, raped.
So when an unmarked car parked at the lot next to his home in the dark, he said his 31 years of active service in the Army kicked in.
What was running through the defendant's mind explains why this happened. It does not justify his behavior.
He pointed a gun at the driver, ordered him out of the car and onto the ground.
Now, when you were held at gunpoint, how did you feel?
Terrified. I pled for my life and said, I'm just an Uber driver. I have a son. Please don't shoot.
He got his information and let him go unharmed.
I submit to you that a reasonable person is not going to run up on a vehicle, not knowing who is in the vehicle, not knowing where the vehicle's coming from, having no facts about the occupants of that vehicle, with a loaded firearm. This is not Fallujah, Iraq.
Hollenbeck and the jury of his peers disagreed, believing he acted justly given the circumstances.
He should have never been arrested. This was a father that protected his daughter, and they stopped at my client, doing the right thing, and picked him out. And he should have never been arrested.
And with this verdict today, it shows the parents of Santa Rosa County that it's not illegal to protect your children. And that's what's important.
Hollenbeck says the acquittal is not the end. He wants an apology from law enforcement for pressing the charges.
One is, I spent my career in the military, and we have a saying called "don't rush to failure." And if they just would have slowed it down and actually looked at the information instead of flying the plane right into the tunnel vision into the mountain, they've destroyed my life. Lost my job. My family went through hell. It's absurd. If they just would have done their job.
Judge Clifton Drake presided over the case. At one point in the trial, he ordered jurors out of the courtroom and had a conversation with attorneys about citizens' arrests. The defense claimed Hollenbeck was making a citizen's arrest when he ordered the driver to the ground. The judge rejected that, saying, quote, "If law enforcement behaved the way that Mr. Hollenbeck behaved, there would be an uprising. To point a gun at someone, order them around without any information, I don't believe that law enforcement can behave like that," end quote.
See, it's where is he at? This is weird. So his 13-year-old daughter snuck out the house. He feared because he didn't know where she was. That's understandable. I can understand that. Then a car pulls up. I guess doesn't have. I don't know what he mean. Did he not have his lights on or something like that? But he immediately ran up to the car without asking. Okay, not without knocking on the window, asking why you're here. Like that would be more reasonable to me. If you go up to the car, knock on the window, and be like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" Maybe he couldn't see into the car, so maybe he felt threatened with his life. But it's weird. Come on now, the Uber driver wasn't doing anything. He was doing his job. He got a call on his phone saying, "Please pick me up at this location." He pulls up to the location, waits for the driver, or waits for the person who ordered the Uber ride. And the father comes out, gun drawn, orders him to get out the car on the ground. And when he finally realizes that, see, so it was, when he finally realized it was an Uber driver, he let him go. That's good. That's good. So he wasn't, but no charges. I don't know. I think the Uber driver wasn't doing anything wrong. Now, I don't know if they said that he was sitting there with his lights off or something like that, and that's why he was scared. But the Uber driver didn't do anything wrong. He's sitting there waiting to pick up someone, and you pull a gun on him. I don't know if they would have charged him with. I think they wanted to charge him with like holding, kidnapping, and stuff like that. But garnishing a firearm, I could see that. That's reasonable to me. Because he immediately garnished. He didn't ask no questions, anything like that. He asked questions after he got him after he got him restrained on the ground. And the judge was right. If a police officer did that, if a police officer see you parked, you're parked in front of it on a street waiting for someone, and the police officer runs up, pulls a gun on you, immediately tells you to get on the ground, then asks you questions, it would be an uproar. It would be an uproar, and the police would probably be held responsible. I'm thinking that the police would be held responsible. But the jury decided not to hold him responsible. And that is why we have a judicial system. And you are innocent until proven guilty. He was judged by a jury of his peers, and they decided that they understand where he was coming from. No one was hurt in the end, so they decided to let him go. Now, if he would have shot somebody, that'd hopefully been a different story. But they've judged and decided on what they believe. That is their right, and that is what they think. I think maybe if they would have charged him with garnishing a firearm, I don't know exactly what they was all charging him with. Hold on, let's see. Let's see. Guess why we got a Google Father. Oh wow. Okay, so let's go over into this. Let's go over into this video. Move that out the way. This one right here, screen share. So, AI overview. A man in Milton, Florida was arrested in May 2024 after holding an Uber driver at gunpoint with an AR-15. The incident occurred because the man suspected foul play when the driver dropped off his 13. Okay, so she was dropping off the daughter who snuck out the house. Okay, who snuck out the house in August 2025. He was acquitted of the charges. So, like we said, he pointed an AR-15, ran him down with an AR-15 after he dropped off the daughter. Wild. So he wasn't even waiting to pick her up. He got a message on his phone for Uber or Lyft, whoever he worked for, It says Uber here, but I feel like they said Lyft in the video. And then it said, all right, I need you to pick me up here and drop me off here. And that's what he did. And he drops her off, not even thinking about it. And then next thing you know, the father runs out with his AR-15 drawn and pointed him, forced him to the ground. The defense claimed that he feared his daughter was being trafficked and acting to protect. How was he? If he was dropping her off at home, how was she being trafficked? Yeah, I don't know. The jury found him not guilty on August 26th, 2025. This is not an isolated incident. Multiple incidents and gun-related events involved rideshare drivers and passengers have been reported. Yeah, tell me your thoughts, y'all. Tell me your thoughts. At the end of the day, I think he should have been charged with something. Maybe garnishing a firearm. But I do, yes, I understand the need to want to protect your child. But just running up to someone dropping off your kid who is an Uber driver and immediately, instead of asking questions, you immediately have your gun drawn. Because based on what we're just looking at, he dropped her off. I don't know. Tell me your thoughts, y'all. Tell me your thoughts. But that is an absolute crazy case. But at the end of the day, he was acquitted. And he has no charges. He has no charges. There's no charges, not going to jail. I don't think he would have gone to jail anyway. He probably would have been probation or something like that. But absolutely crazy. But all right, everybody, remember this is AC Reviews the Word. Remember to like and subscribe.